For close to 5 months, a controversy story has been brewing in the world-famous Masai Mara game park, where the construction and opening of a luxury resort stirred up a storm. Backed by a section of the community, Joel Ololdapash, a Maasai environmental activist, petitioned against the Ritz-Carlton Masai Mara safari camp for allegedly blocking a key migration corridor for wildebeest. Citizen TV's Mashirima Kapombe traveled to the Masai Mara in Narok County to establish the facts of an environmental dispute, which she now reports in our special feature titled Sand and Storm.
The wildebeest migration, a wonder that draws thousands of tourists to the Masai Mara between July and August every year. In the name of this iconic migration, a major storm is brewing by the banks of the Sand River, where a world-class luxury camp has been opened. A petition filed in court by a Maasai environmental activist, Joel Ololdapash, who wants the Ritz-Carlton Masai Mara safari camp removed on claims that parts of the camp have completely blocked an important wildebeest migration corridor. The community was not consulted or given an opportunity to participate in the environmental impact assessment, and that the camp was constructed at a time when a moratorium stopping construction of new lodges and camps was in effect. The petition has placed the renowned luxury brand on the spot.
Hatuna wifu na hoteli, lakini hoteli ilijengwa mahali mbaya.
Tulifanya hiyo public participation.
We are not blocking migration.
We have followed each and every law.
In our quest for the facts, we reached out to all parties to the dispute. Sekanani Gate is the eastern entrance to the Masai Mara Game Reserve. Here, we met a group of Maasai community members huddled in a meeting. They are tour guides who support the petition by Joel Maitemei Ololdapash.
Tulipika mkutano ya kuongelea mambo la Mara management, ambayo ilisemekana sile makambi siko hibaki ikiwa hivyo. Isijengwe tena kupanua sile hoteli ala kujenga hoteli mpya. So baada ya miaka moja tangu tumalize ile mkutano sile hoteli kajengwa.
Because in Mara now we have almost 300 camps around Mara. So it is already congested. But we were not told when Ritz-Carlton, we didn't do a public participation when Ritz-Carlton was built.
We made our way to the Ritz-Carlton Masai Mara Safari Camp. Image from Google Earth shows the Sand River snaking its way in and out of Kenya. Our interest is the exact location of the camp along the river. This is the Ritz-Carlton Masai Mara Safari Camp, a luxury camp that prides itself in personalized and luxury services.
Welcome to the Sand River. And this is actually one of the spots that when a guest wants to actually see the migration, our guides will take them over here. As you can see, it's not wooded at all here, which allows the wildebeest to cross freely.
This was the first crossing we witnessed on the Sand River, 4 kilometers from the Ritz-Carlton camp. Daniel Ouma is a tour guide for 23 years. He heads the department at the Ritz-Carlton camp. He explains that the migration happens in different locations.
The ones that comes through the eastern corridor are the ones that you find crossing first along the Sand River. And this is one of the crossing points that they actually come through. Over the years, we've seen the pattern. So the ones that goes through the western corridor, they cross the Mara River. Because the Sand River joins the Mara River just a few kilometers from here. And then they go through the Mara River and they go through the western corridor.
We visited several crossings on the Sand River. Now, we are 15 kilometers from the Ritz-Carlton Masai Mara Safari Camp, and we've driven along the Sand River. And this is the 4th crossing point that we've seen where the wildebeest cross from the Serengeti into Masai Mara. The crossings on the Sand River and the junction where it joins the Mara River had a similarity. They were all clear, devoid of dense forests. We went further to a popular crossing on the Mara River known as the U Crossing. Aerial footage showed pockets of shrub, no forest.
Animals, especially on migration, they go through where we don't have patches of forests. Actually, animals prefer areas which are open to migrate through.
Professor Jacob Kibwage is an environmental expert and lecturer for over 20 years. He is among independent experts who participated in the environmental impact assessment before the camp was established. He says there is no wildlife crossing where the camp is situated. This is scientific data of collared wildebeest migrating from Kenya to Tanzania from research carried out between 1999 to 2025. The purple lines represent wildebeest routes. And how reliable is this data?
It's very reliable in the sense that no one can control it. For example, if you call a lion or an elephant, you're able to see these animals in and outside a particular protected area, how they move, what areas they have interest in terms of biodiversity, in terms of feeding habits. You're able to see how far they go. Therefore, it is reliable because it is not controlled by a human being. But it can be controlled by human activities.
If not on the animal migration route, why did the Ritz-Carlton establishment stir up a storm? Activist Ololdapash questioned what he termed preferential treatment extended to the camp by no less the office of the president. So why was the office of the head of public service involved in obtaining the exemption?
Okay, so there is a Masai Mara management plan, which was affected in 2023 till 2032, if I'm not mistaken. And that mandated a particular moratorium period. And for you to obtain a NEMA license, you had to obtain a presidential exemption for that particular moratorium license. For that particular moratorium period. So what that meant is you carry out an EIA report using an independent consultant. You submit that report to the office of the president, submitting your application for exemption, and the office of the president in return writes to NEMA giving an exemption or not, in which in our case they provided an exemption for NEMA to go ahead and verify the EIA report.
Those against the camp say the moratorium should have been adhered to.
Tuliona kambi zikiwa mingi huko ndani, wanyama watapata shida, wanyama waanze kukosa kuja hapo, wageni wakose wanyama na biashara yote iharibike.
Others say the presence of the camp hinders other species of wildlife.
And not like 5 types of animals. Their territory was around Ritz-Carlton. So we have a rhino, we have hippos, and the problem is now with hippos, they come from Mara. You know, Ritz-Carlton is 1 or 2 kilometers away from joining Mara River like this. It's the last crossing point to Mara River. So basically the hippos come from Mara River, they cross where Ritz-Carlton is and go and graze on the other side of Tanzania.
So the camp is built on an eco-frame. It's what we know as a light gauge steel structure. It's renewable metal sources, okay? It sets a very minimalistic footprint. It's 100% off-grid on solar system. We have biodigesters. We have green energy hub, what we call as a hub, where we renew all the perishable goods and consumption on the property. The property is built a minimum of 4.5 meters to 5 meters above ground, which allows freedom of movement of all kinds of animals. It being on a light gauge steel structure and having a very minimal footprint, we have damaged very, very, very minimal vegetation. on the ground. The so-called wall that has been created, which is false, are known as gabion walls. They prevent soil erosion and riverbank erosion from occurring. In fact, it's easier for animals to climb up and down than making it more difficult.
Video footage of the camp circulating on social media raised fears about the presence of warehouses in the middle of the Mara.
It's our home. We live here. We live here 24/7 to serve our guests in our community. That's also where our solar panels live because we're 100% solar camp. We're off the grid. And every day we always say we are proud to be Ritz-Carlton. These are some of the first class cards I showed you.
Videos showing wildebeest being shooed away by alleged staff of the Ritz-Carlton have also been circulating on social media.
I remember seeing that video and immediately thinking, what camp is that? Because it's definitely not the Ritz-Carlton.
That camp was shut down in 2020 for flouting NEMA rules.
Watu wamekosana. One of my neighbors, kuna mwanamke mwingine amemthreaten sijui nini. So tukaambiwa twende msikize hiyo nini hiyo maneno.
Ben Karia and Manchao Lieram are among 19 people listed as having participated in a public participation exercise organized by NEMA in April 2024. They dispute the records.
So the time I saw the pictures, I recall a meeting. I attended a meeting of a certain dispute, a certain family, which I will not mention.
Kwa sababu community wanazulaumu sahi. Wanasema sisi tumeuza hawa. Na sisi hatukukuwa.
It was under these trees, on this bench, where public participation allegedly took place. But the agenda of the meeting has caused sharp divisions among participants, including the chief.
Na huyu Ben Karia na Mafuti.
Najua kwanza tulikuwa na mkutano mwingine hapa.
Chief Dennis Naurori confirms he recorded the minutes of the meeting. He explains public participation is always conducted by NEMA and includes locals before any camp is developed.
Hatuwezi tupiga barasa bila kukuambia hii barasa inahusu nini. Na tunajiuliza yuko mtu yenye anaenda hataki hii maneno. Hakuna mtu amepinga.
Naurori has been the Koyaki location chief for 21 years. He confirms he knows the two who dispute the agenda of the meeting.
Lakini vile mimi kwa location ni fitina. Ndi imeleta hiyo kitu kidogo.
Parties meet in court to chart the way forward on the 17th of December. For the 201 staff of the Ritz-Carlton camp, they wait with bated breath.
I don't have a fear. I'm very comfortable that these people are going to be fair. Because if you're going to say that this place is going to be destroyed, we have many families here. Where are you going to keep them? After listening to every side and walking the riverbanks where this debate is unfolding, one thing is clear. The concerns and reassurances both carry weight. And now, the contours of truth lie with the public and the judge, who must decide what they believe protects the interests of the Mara and its people the best. Mashirima Kapombe, Citizen TV, Masai Mara.